Hey friends, Sam Farkas with Green Hills Guitar Studio here. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another 5-minute lesson. As always, these lessons are based on real questions I get from my students while I'm teaching guitar lessons at Green Hills Guitar Studio here in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, so this week the question was, and this is going to sound kind of funny, but it's a legitimate question. It's like, how do you solo? How do you write a solo? And I thought this would be it just happens to be a good opportunity. I'm playing with some folks this weekend in Nashville, and it's kind of a singer-songwriter couple. They don't have a lot of tracks recorded, and they're not really fleshed out. And more importantly, they've never played with a band before. They've just always done the duo acoustic guitar thing. So this will be their first time playing as a band. They've got a pretty good sized show lined up here in Nashville, so I think it'll be really fun for them. But I'm playing guitar for this show, and there's always a challenge of trying to translate essentially demos or work tapes or just really kind of basic recordings into a live band scenario. So in this particular song, there's a solo section. However, in the recording, there's not much of a solo going on. There's kind of like a little bit of vague harmonica stuff happening. There's no harmonica on the gig, so that means it's going to be my job to rip a solo over the sucker. Now, one of the nice things is I've have the songs a couple days in advance, so I can learn the music and at least get some ideas together for what I want the solo to sound like. When you're improvising, obviously that's not always the case. You have to just kind of, do that in the moment and hope it works out. But I wanted to show you my approach to writing a solo. All right. So first, let's listen to the track. All right. I'm going to play it and talk you through it, at least a solo section, and then I'll show you exactly what I played. All right. Here's a solo. C sharp minor down to B, A, B, back to C sharp minor, the 6 minor, down to 5, 4, 5, and then straight into the down chorus. Okay. So that's what we're working with. That's the solo section. It is, I don't know what it is. I should have counted 8 bars. Let me look at my chart. Yeah, it's an 8-bar solo section. Okay, so what did I play over that? Well, there wasn't much to cop from the harmonica line. There's nothing really going on there. So it was my task to write a solo. The C sharp minor, the 6 minor chord, here's exactly what I played. I started on the 5th of the chord, then the root, the minor third, which is E, and then very quickly let go of that note and bent to it from a half step below. So I get this cool lick. Now I use this lick all the time, whether it's major or minor, whatever chord. I've kind of gotten so comfortable with it that I can make it work. And the whole trick is to play your target note and then quickly bend into it from a half step below. So it's a nice little piece of language. When we go to the B chord, the 5 chord, I play the 5th of the B chord, F sharp, and then straight to the root. So I'm trying to outline the chord here pretty closely. All right, when we go to the A chord, I have this little lick. Kind of a soulful thing. And we're approaching the B chord again. And this is a common tactic. I just play the same lick an octave above. I'm gonna put a little run into it though, up the E major pentatonic scale. It was something like that. Okay, so now we're kind of heading into the home stretch of the solo, and I'm gonna move up the register. So I'm continuing to kind of move up, right? Create a little more tension, a little more energy. And I'm in the final stretch here, and this is a great tactic, right? Here's the other great tactic, is to mirror part of the melody. You don't have to play the melody exactly as it is on the recording, but you could if you wanted to. But I'm getting pretty close to it. I'm playing the chorus line. It sounds, or the hook. It sounds like this. Okay, and I repeat that motif twice, and then to end the solo, a variation of it. And if you listen closely in the track, there's these kind of like da, 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 da hits. They're pretty subtle, but they kind of end that last chorus. I'm going to catch those exactly. So I'm going to go. All right, so here's the whole solo. That last part that imitates or mirrors the vocal melody is great for a couple reasons. One, it's something for the listener, for the audience to grab on and be like, I recognize that. And it also is a great cue for the vocalist. So they hear that, that's a cue, that's their melody. We get to the down chorus, and that's essentially what they sing. Okay, so there's a couple of important ideas here. I like to kick off the solo with a lick that's interesting. It's something that I know really well. I want to follow the chords, even though this is a diatonic situation, meaning everything's in the same scale, same key. And by the way, you could play stuff that's not just in the scale or in the key, but this is a pop song. It's a kind of a singer-songwriter-y ballad, so we're not going to play extensions or altered tones over this. We want it to be lyrical and accessible. Okay, and then I have some repeating licks. Up an octave. This is a great way to build tension. Repetition is a good thing, especially in this kind of context, in this pop singer-songwriter context. It's kind of what you'd expect to hear. And then the third thing, ending with a motif or a lick that mirrors the melody of the hook or the song. This is great. This is a great cue to the audience. It's a great cue to the rest of your band members and the singers. It just wraps everything up really nice. And you noticed I kind of constantly went up in the register to try to build some emotion or tension. Okay, so those are some handy tips or things to be thinking about. The larger kind of narrative structure of a solo. And anytime you get to kind of create a solo is super fun. It's super fun. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes to quickly do it and hopefully to do it in the moment when you're improvising a solo. That's kind of a whole, it's a slightly different skill set, but fun nonetheless. But the more of this stuff that you do, the easier the improvisation bit gets. By the way, the name of this band, oh God. Don't kill me. Stuck in September. They're really nice folks. Stuck in September, and great songs, great singers, and I look forward to accompanying them on Saturday here in Nashville. But check out their stuff. Stuck in September. It's pretty cool. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's just some insight on to think about the big picture, the structure of a solo. All right. Always use your ear. Always be musical. All right. See you later.